Got some items from Cravenspeed. Got a short shifter, shifter retainer, mechanism retainer, and the boot replacement for the well. Two nuts to remove here. I put some Freol on them. I've got a little bit of a different setup here. I'm just going to take these off, and the OEM part is black, but it's got the same 6 screw configuration. Then there'll be two 10 millimeters holding the rubber exhaust supports in, which are right there. In my case, I got to clip that. So I'll take those off and then proceed to remove the heat shield with probably an nearly infinite number of these type things we'll take off. And we'll do that, and then we'll be able to see the bottom part of the gearbox. Pretty much loosened up, and you just have to twist it and pull it out. So we got that off. Now we're going to work on these. Okay, now that you got those little nuts off, you just want to bend the heat shield a little bit, pull it out beyond each one of the studs there. And you can see, you can start to pull it down, pop it over this one, pop it over this one, and just continue to work it. Over here on the front side, there's little clips. You just push this tab in, push this tab. There's dirt falling on my eyes. Get that piece loose. And so basically, we've got it pretty much now. I'm just gonna have to put the camera down and get 2 hands on it. One last little screw we need to get right there. 8 millimeter. They come off, and that is what we're looking for. Okay, this cover is pretty much a pain. I've got a small screwdriver that I've bent, and you gotta just try not to break these tabs off, and I've already got it. Okay, I got this thing out. You just have to just work around. It really wasn't that bad. You just get the pry tool. You gotta be careful, because as you try to get another tab out, you push up on it, and other tabs that were out will click back. And I was pulling down on it, just started to crack. You can see my thumb is pointing at it right there. But it wasn't too bad. So I noticed on the shaft right there for the main gear changer, this O-ring is busted. It's broken. So I don't know if I am supposed to reuse that or not, but I'll watch out for that. Okay, so to get this shifter box down, I used a pry bar against the exhaust there, just pried just a little bit. Didn't take a whole lot, and you could hear it click, and then it gets loose, and then you can just work it, and you'll be able to get it. Okay, so the box is down. Need to take the connections off on these ball joints and these U-bolt things. Watch another video. He was talking about how hard it was to get these off. Well, I just noticed there are flats on this thing, and it must be flats there for a reason. And lo and behold, I put an 11 millimeter wrench on there. One twist, it popped right off. And I'm gonna try to do it with this one so you can see it, but it's hard to do it with one hand. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so that's it. Wow, that was no time compared with what a couple videos I saw. So that's the key thing. Use your 11mm wrench to get those links off. Okay, it looks like with these U-connector things here, you can just pry them off with a screwdriver. This one, you can see. Got both of those off. Okay, so now all we have to do is pull those out. Get them, boom. There we go. Got the shifter out. I've got these aluminum bushings that are gonna replace these rubber bushings right here. Other little tool things are in the car, so let's see what happens if I just try and pull this out. Easier than the other way. Okay, so now we got these rubber bushings in here, and we need to push those through. Okay, so this is R53, and I've seen some videos. Apparently R56 is a different style. So to use these aluminum bushings, what you have to do, this is a whole piece of rubber, and the bushings are integrated into it. You can see it's one piece of rubber, and they were pretty hard to get out. I mean, not that hard. You have to stick a screwdriver down in this end and just start prying, and then on the back side, help this go through the hole. I mean, obviously it's like a grommet. It's like, you know, if you've ever worked with a grommet. And then there's some of these little guides on the side right there that just fit down at those holes. So what I'll do, I suppose, is cut those out, cut those rubber bushings out, and then get this aluminum bushing and replace the rubber with that aluminum. Okay, well this wasn't too bad at all. So if I look at how that aluminum bushing is going to work in there, it's like that. So to get there, all I did is take a razor blade and I cut off that bottom part, and then just dug around the edges, and this popped out, and that's what it ends up looking like. So I'll just okay, so when you see that, now I'm just going to dig around there, and this piece will jump. And then we can just insert that. And looks good on the top side. Like that. So I'll just do that on the other two. Is getting this plastic shifter retainer out because we have a new one we're going to put in there. Now there's 3 tabs on it. There's one, and you can access that one from the outside, and the other 2 you cannot. So now these tabs are already, I've got all 3 of them pushed in, and the way I did that, I can't show you exactly because I have one hand holding the phone, but grab this and put pressure on the bottom. It's hard to describe. On the bottom of your hand, you want to pull up on this thing. At the same time, you're mashing the clips in. So when you push the clips in, you want to be pulling up on this, and you can do it if you just get a good grip on this thing and then turn it a little bit. And that thing's in tension right now because my hand is pushing against that frame. And that's how I was able to get all three of those unclipped simultaneously. Because what will happen is you unclip one and then you try to go to the other one and the other one clips back in. So if you keep that upward pressure on it, you can do that. And in theory, I can pull it out now. I think I just figured out a really nice way to get this out. So I just showed the 3 clips that were clipped in. And then what you do is you gently turn this thing over, and those clips have arms, and this actually has been pushed down. Let me see if I can get a better view of it right here. Focus. And so when the white piece is fully engaged, it's been popped out now, that plastic piece goes all the way up to here. Just take a screwdriver and I just hit it with the back of my fist, my palm, like that, and the whole thing popped out like that. Okay, well, I broke the white piece, which actually made it a lot faster to get out. So I did that. The next step is you need to pull this piece out, and it's a flexi clamp over this ball joint on the shifter. And you still can't quite get the shifter out. You need to take off this C-ring here. And what I did was just found a flat bracket and put that on, and just popped it down. You can see that there's actually a gap right there where the corner of that is pointing. And so now I don't want to lose it, so I'm not going to do it with one hand, but I'm now just going to pull it off with the screwdriver. All right, so here's what we did. Pull this up, and basically you can do like that. Okay, so now we've got that shifter out. We can put that back on, and now we're ready for the new parts. Okay, I got this thing back together. I literally lost this little white piece for like an hour. I mean, I tore up my garage, and I had accidentally thrown it away with the other white piece that came out of here. So anyway, good heavens. So put some lube. The Cravenspeed people give you some super lube. It's upside down, but that's really good stuff. So you want to lube up everything in there, lube up that shaft right there, and put lube inside there. So this is what it is. The shifter retainer clip here, the soft piece goes on the bottom, and then you have the large plastic piece, which is basically the retainer. And then you have these 3 metal pieces. You can see one piece, and that actually is what holds everything down. And then of course you got this little piece that goes on top. So that's pretty straightforward. It seems pretty smooth. Before we put it back together, we'll put some super lube on those ball joints as well. Oh, I forgot to mention the O-ring. So got a new O-ring. We saw the other one was busted. I just had a big pack of them, and that one fit pretty well. It's Phyton, and so I put that on there. If we look at the shifter from the side, this is in the short shifter mode, where the adjustment pushes this all the way down. And we can see it sticks out beyond where the other cover. The cover pretty much goes on flush with this edge once it's clipped in. And so we have to make a cutout in the original box, or we can buy one that's already made. So I take a Dremel tool, see right here, and just cut out this piece. And I'm going to use some of this aluminum flashing and just the edges of this thing to create a part that screws down on these sides. And I think maybe I'll just use RTV or caulking to glue it on those sides. But I think it's important that we not let these pieces stay exposed to dust and whatnot.
Okay, I want to take a short break just to kind of tell you what I've been doing here. So you can see I've been using some straight edges and the corner of this countertop here to just bend this thing. And you just gotta be patient and not cut it too much, or you'll just have to start over. It hasn't taken me too long to get here. I don't know, maybe 10 minutes or something. But you can see I'm just planning on having this flap closed. I'm planning on screwing this side down and the back, and then RTV this side and this side. When this is on the shifter, this is pretty much the area that needs to be larger. So not so much worried about over here. That's why I left some meat here so I can screw this piece on. So now I'm just going to figure out what to do about this bottom. Just bend it out kind of the same way. Just need to figure out the cuts and not cut too soon. Think it through. Pretty much done. This really hasn't taken all that long. So we can see how I did this. You just got to keep cutting and bending and try to get sharp edges. But it's going to screw down on the right side and on the bottom. I'm gonna put some little screws down there to hold that together, just to give it a little more rigidity. And then on the right side and the top, it's going to fit about like that, and about like that. It'll be a little bit tighter once I screw it down, and then I'll put some RTV sealant on that and from the inside, so it'll be sealed up pretty well. Okay, done with the box. I think it turned out pretty well. So I'm gonna put some seal on this side and this side, the sides that aren't really. Let's see, I think I got some of this stuff right here. Something like this, RTV. And here's the stuff I used. I think I showed you this before. Used a punch just to punch through the aluminum. It's once you mark the spots. You can see I'm punching through on this piece of wood. It's got like a lifetime supply of these tiny little Allen head screws, so looking forward to getting rid of some of those. Just a small sharp edge or edge I use to do some of these folds on the inside. And let's see, I screwed these ends down just to wrap around, just because, I don't know, just because you could. Oh, and I added a little reinforcement on that side. Get to use 2 more of those little screws up. So that's it. One thing I noticed about these little nuts, sheet metal nuts that hold the heat shield on, is that it looks like, you know, they're distorted a little bit, permanently deformed. So what I'm going to do is just take a hammer and just very lightly tap. You see how it's raised up a little bit there? That's from just tightening it. So I'm going to just flatten that out a little bit just to make sure it has a good grip. All right, I've straightened those out just a little bit. You can see it's still a little bit deformed. I didn't want to do it too much, but just a little bit. Okay, got the shifter box, got the bolts, and put on some blue thread locker, and we're going to get that back here. Keep in mind the little clips on there. Here's where the screws go. Keep in mind the little clips. So these clips, and there's a front clip also. I just touched the edge of this on a grinder just to make it a little bit easier. And boy, that first one went on really nicely. So I just hammered these back in. Went in no problem.
Put some super lube on the ball and on the other side, the receiver socket. And you see I got this hanging up there just to keep it from putting pressure on the cables. Okay, got it all together and back in. Got the screws torqued. All looks pretty good. I'm gonna go up top and see how it feels.
Feels nice. It feels more precise. I'll have to really tell when I drive it.
First gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear, sixth gear. Okay, got it all installed. Got all the clips in there. Okay, wow. This took a huge amount of time. This is the inside of the heat shield. And of course, I had to make a cutout. I didn't realize it was so close. So I just kind of cut this, bent it, patched a piece, and you can see I cut it wrong damn direction the first time. And I got some really nice thermal insulation. It's got adhesive on the back of it, but I just don't want it to come off over time. And reinforced it on these corners a little bit and put some screws down there. So I believe this fits, and we're going back on. Okay, painted this screw just so it stands out in case I ever have to do this again. And got it installed. Everything seems like it fits okay. And so next will be to get the exhaust in.